Can I place I can record to the cloud? I don't know where that's going. Okay.
All right.
All set.
Resume. All right. We'll officially open the meeting at 5:07. And then I don't have the agenda items written in front of me, so if you can bring
Yep.
up.
The first thing is the minutes of the previous meeting.
Okay. Okay, we need a vote on accepting the minutes of the previous meeting.
Those were from July 13th.
Okay, do you guys see that? The meetings minutes, have you reviewed them? And
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody want to make a motion to accept?
And to accept the meeting minutes.
Second
Okay. Motion's made second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. It's unanimous.
Yes. Yep.
All right. And
the first thing on the agenda is the fire engine ladder.
all right, Steve was going to make a motion on that.
No, I'd like to
I think we
raise
should
a
have a little
motion.
discussion first about what it is for the recording so people understand what we're voting on.
Yeah. All right. There's a 35-foot American LaFrance area ladder, wooden ladder, weighs a ton. That's in the museum that originally belonged on the 1949 ladder truck that Bellingham bought from Franklin and used for several years. And then it was purchased by Sergeant Ed Gazowski of the Bellingham Police Department, where he kept it and kept good care of it for many years. And recently, he has donated the vehicle back to the town of Franklin, where it originated, where they had it brand new in 1949. And I wanted to bring it to the commission's for a vote that the ladder really doesn't have any significance for Bellingham other than the fact that we own the ladder truck for a short period of time. But I feel, and if the board feels, that the ladder belongs back on that truck now that the town of Franklin has regained ownership. So Steve wanted to make a motion that it, I'll let you make the motion.
Okay. So I'd like to raise a motion to transfer ownership of the ladder to the town of Franklin.
I will second.
Okay, any other discussion on that? Motion made in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, unanimous.
Yep.
And the next,
The next thing is the renovation of the museum, the carpeting, lighting. First, I have one thing I want to let everyone know. I got an update from the town about the financial accounts, which this will relate to a couple things we're going to vote on tonight. First of all, we have a municipal budget of $4,500 a year. That has traditionally been spent on printing and mailing the Crimfield comments. I think, but it is not limited to that. So we can use it for whatever we need to use it for. Any non-payroll expense. We can't pay any people with it, but we can do whatever we need to. So when it comes down to talking about, I'm going to talk about purchasing to do an electronic newsletter. We can choose to use those funds for that. The other fund we have a gift fund that has $7,654.35 in it. And that funding could be used for the projects like if we're talking about the mile marker and some of those other things. So that's good news is we have some money. That I found out there was a gift fund when I got checks for the Crimfield comments that I went to deposit, and I asked them where we could deposit, and they said, oh, there's a gift fund, and then I found out what the balance is. So as we move down, we can talk about, that we have some money available. So as far as the flooring, painting, and lighting, Rick said, Rick did a great job. My custodian helped them. They got all the stuff out of the museum. We were there 2 days and cleaned everything out. So next week, they're gonna be hopefully ripping up the carpet. There is a discussion of whether we should refinish the floors or just put something else on top of them. They're going to look at the quality of them and see if they can be refinished. I think it's the consensus. It might be iffy whether they're worth refinishing or not. It's a pine floor underneath. So yeah. So
and the other thing I brought up to Bernadette before you guys signed on is that I picked up a portion of the carpet. We did look at it. It's heavily laden with glue. Now, I know for a fact the sanding, it's going to be very labor intensive sanding because it'll gum up the sanding process as he's doing it. But my only question I said is that we're only able to do half of the museum at a time. Now, if we were to sand it and finish one side, then move everything and rip up the carpet on the other side and find out that the floor is crap on the other side, then we just spent money
Yeah.
to have half of the museum done, sanded and refinished.
Yeah.
And, you know, then we're
I
up,
think we need to
up
get
the creek.
professional advice on what the best thing to do is. And I think once they tear up half of it, they'll have a better idea of,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
they
gonna,
might find half of it, once they tear up half, they say, no, there's something damaged that makes it not doable, you know?
yeah,
Wait.
I've got somebody, a name of somebody I can call, but I want to be able to see the floor first,
Yeah.
you know, and then bring them down.
I wouldn't think it's worth that much effort if it's just pine underneath. If it was some kind of inlaid parquet floor or something,
Or oak or something,
Yeah.
yeah.
show. But if it's just a pine floor, throw
Yeah.
commercial.
Well, I was
Oh,
thinking
wow.
of actually advocating for like vinyl planks that look like wood.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
something that looks like, so it could look like a wood floor, but be a little more easy to clean, and because carpet over time just gets, you know.
Yep.
So
I think carpet in an area that we hope to be high traffic one day would not be the best. I would advocate for some kind of a laminate flooring.
yeah.
Mm.
Do they make these that we have? So here we have the library. We did it's called luxury vinyl. It looks like ours looks like concrete, but they have one that are wood planks that look, so it makes it look like a wood floor, but they're vinyl. And the pattern goes all the way through them like old linoleum used to. So as it wears, it doesn't, you know, it keeps its thing. So I think we need to get advice on what kind of flooring would be best. The lighting, Gary, the town electrician, is looking at the lighting, and they're definitely going to upgrade the electrical work because it's pretty bad in there. It's pretty
Yeah, I took out all the ungrounded receptacles that were above, that was wire mold. I took them all out and I put new plugs in where they were fed from, but I had to put ungrounded outlets in there because I can't put a grounded U-ground receptacle in where there's no ground. So I had to put in the old receptacles.
So I'm sharing my screen right now with the colors that I came up with. The tan color is for the walls, and the blue would be for the trim around the door spaces. The exterior of the building has blue shutters, so I was trying to like emulate that. And the color is called Americana, which I thought was kind of cool. And I think that, you know, most of the walls will be tan. The bookcases are that dark brown color, so that will work with those. And I think that I guess I want opinions on what you guys think of the color scheme.
Well, I can only see the blue.
Oh, you can't see the.
No, it looks gray.
Oh, okay. It's called Synchronicity. It is more. I don't know if you can see it
like
here
taupe.
better. Huh?
It's like a taupe, isn't it?
The computer colors never look like the real colors. It really looks more
Oh,
tan.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It
Like,
looks more
I got it
tan
here.
online. I mean,
Yeah.
the actual. I have the paint chip here, which I can't get on my screen.
That'll look.
Let me stop my screen share and see if I can get the paint. So that's the chip. Oops, the blue
Yeah.
one. Those are the two chips. It looks more tan than gray when you're in
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And the only furniture in there is dark brown, so I wanted something to lighten it up a little bit. And then I also sent away for a sample of a bamboo Roman shade for the windows. It's kind of it looks like I don't know, the color looks interesting. So they're going to send me a sample so we can see what we're going to get on the windows to replace the curtains that were 100 years old at least. I don't know, they were very old. So they're going to start painting soon, so I think we need to approve the paint colors as recommended. Does anyone have a problem with these colors?
Well, I would only ask, has anybody given any thoughts to what the light fixtures and what the color temperature is going to be?
It's going to be LED.
They'll be
So-
LED.
So are they
I don't know
going to be, you know,
White light.
yeah, I would, if we're going to go with those types of colors that we're looking at right there, I would kind of hope that we would go with a cooler temperature lighting. You know what I mean? So it really brightens the space. You know, it's a small space. So you know what I mean?
Well, right now the walls are kind of an off-white as they are. They're not that they're a little lighter than this, but they're not that much lighter, I think, than the color I chose.
It's got a bit of a dungeon feel right now.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I think just adding, I think a fresh coat of paint is going to make a big, and a new floor will make a big a big, big difference. And I think a lot of the dungeon feel to me is the mustiness and whatever. And if we can eventually get the mini split air conditioning system to move air around better, I think the feel would get a lot better in there too.
I hear that's one of the things that they want to do. They
Yeah.
want to put air conditioning in there so that it make it livable.
There's
Yeah.
one room air conditioner that doesn't cover anything. It's just,
No.
you have to be sitting right behind it for it to do anything.
The only good thing about it is it's got all replacement windows, so the windows are fine.
Yeah.
You know, but it's going to get a new service too. They're going to upgrade the service because the breakers that are in the basement are Federal Pacific, which is not even in business anymore, and they're horrendous. So
This is gonna be a nice facelift. I don't think we have to vote on anything but the colors. The money, the town has the money for this. They haven't asked
They're
us.
buying
for
it.
any, yeah, they're
Yeah.
taking care of this renovation, so this isn't costing us. There's nothing for us to vote on this. I'll find out about the curtains. If we have to buy the curtains, we can buy the curtains, with the gift money or whatever.
Ronnie Paulus also told me they're going to redo the steps in the front of the museum.
They are
'Cause they're-
crumbling.
They are crumbling, and that's going to be redone also.
Great.
So, yeah, so things are in the works. They're moving forward, so that's good.
So Rick, can I ask you if and when you're part of making a decision on the lights, the LEDs,
Mhm.
that they go between 3,500 and 3,700K?
Okay, 3,500 and 37.
Nice
Yeah,
to have
so-
people that know details like this, because that's like way over my head.
Okay, LEDs.
Yeah.
I'll be in touch when Gary comes down with the idea for the lighting and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll make a note
Yeah.
on that it's.
Yeah.
between
He was
30
making a proposal, I believe, right? That's what he discussed.
Well,
Yeah.
he's going to be researching to find out what he can do through National Grid, because National Grid will reimburse.
Right.
I was just going to say, did anybody check with Mass Save? Because they'll
Yeah.
come and put these in there
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah, he's going to check with National Grid because they have programs and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and he's going to look into something that's an
When-
older lighting rather than that
Yeah.
strip fluorescent.
Right. When Gary did ours at the library, he replaced some with LEDs. He basically charged us. He took the credit from National Grid and he charged us the difference. So we got $600 lights for like 300 something. It was about half the price. So he knows what he's doing as far as getting those credits. So
Yeah, so
okay.
So do we need a vote on those colors? Is that-
I would like a vote, so it's not just me making. I looked at and I just I went through a lot of people here that have helped me with colors for the library and stuff, and a lot of us looked at them, and this is what we came up with. So I think it's nice.
Just to kick it down the road, I'll raise a motion to go with the colors as proposed.
I'll second it.
okay, motion's been made and seconded on the colors. Any other discussion? None, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Nay. It's unanimous.
Okay, so the next thing is the mile marker. So Steve, you have information on that?
Yeah, so to have it cleaned, which I can send this out to the group again. Just throw it out there. It's $375
Okay.
from Gravestone Services. They would come up. They were recommended by Ackerman Monument in Holliston, and I spoke with the owner, and his name is Kai. And
What's the name of the company in Holliston?
Ackerman Monument.
AC.
ACKERMAN.
Okay. Okay, I'm just with my notes. Thank you.
So Gravestone Services of New England said that they would come and retrieve the marker and clean it for $375 at their location in New Hampshire, and then return it to us within 4 weeks.
Oh, good.
And-
We don't
and
have
they-
to bring it to them. That's
Correct.
good.
Yeah,
So do we need a motion? I will make the motion if that's the case to spend $375 from, do we want to do that from that gift fund? Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Yeah, $375 from the gift fund to contract with Greystone Services to restore the monument marker, mile marker.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion on the cleaning of the grave of the monument? Hearing none. All those in favor?
aye.
All those opposed? Unanimous.
And what was the deal with the replica?
So I still need to track down a piece of dark granite. Everybody said do it in granite because it'll hold up better.
Okay.
So I'm trying to find granite that looks like slate.
Okay. Okay. So we can hang on to that for a future meeting. Okay.
Yeah, I hope to have something by our September meeting or whatever.
Okay.
So
And if gravestone monuments in New England or whatever make arrangements to come down, you can give them my number or whatever, because I'm always around, so I can always meet them there so they can come and get it.
okay.
So I'm easy to get a hold of. It's nice being retired.
Okay. And the last thing on the agenda that is a voting item is the constant contact for the newsletter to purchase constant contact. So I think the funds we can save. So the Crimfield comments, we mailed out over 300. Over 100 were returned as non-returnable. 91 have been returned. So there's still 100 something that weren't returned. 66 of them still want a print copy. 14 said email only, and 11 said both. So right now we have to mail out 100. Plus, there was a distribution list that they had of places in town where they were distributed: the library, the senior center, town hall, and that list had places getting 1,200 copies. I think we can look at that list and possibly pare down the number we're dropping off, because I know the library, we have extras that we always end up just recycling when the time is up. Or if we want to put them out there the first time and then see how many they go back and see how many aren't taken, then we can decide how many to print in the future. But I bet we could. So I estimate that we're printing 1,600 before. I bet we could get away with printing 750 or so and still have enough to handle the things that are what we need to handle. So with the money we'll save on that and the mailing, I'm proposing that we invest $500 in constant contact, which will enable us to have up to 2,000 people subscribing to an electronic newsletter that I, as the secretary, will be happy to. I do constant contact all the time. I will be happy to create. I need input on content. Now, one piece of the content could be a link to the Crimfield comments quarterly, but we could just do one this fall telling people what we're doing with the with the renovation, or just giving people information about what's happened, what the activities of the commission are. Even just after each meeting, send out something saying this is what we talked about and this is what our next steps are, to let people in the community know what's going on. And then once you have that, you can actually just advertise the link where people can sign up for it so they get it in their email. So there's a place for them to go that we can put it on the town website, we can put it on the Facebook page, and if you want to get a monthly email from the commission, or maybe we start off saying it's quarterly and then we can determine how often we want to do it as time goes on, or just a periodic newsletter, no more than monthly from the commission.
Bernadette, is the $500, is that per year, or is that
it is an annual. It's an annual. It's an annual thing. And I know people talk about like MailChimp, or there are some free services. My only concern about that is for me to do this, I know how to use this. I could create it, the time thing, and it does scale. It's, and they give you good statistics on what people are opening, what people are clicking on. It really does help know what the reaction is. And then you share it, like I share the libraries on our Facebook page too, and then it gets more people interested in the newsletter.
Well, I've used MailChimp before, and you don't get that many subscribers before you have to start paying for it anyway.
Okay, yeah.
So
this one is, it's it's up to 2,000. That's the minimum. The minimum is $500 a year for 2,000, and it'll probably be less, because if we pay it all, if I subscribe and we actually pay it all at once, they give you a 10% or a 20% discount if you pay for the whole year. If you pay for a year in advance, they give you a discount.
Okay.
So it, as opposed to just paying it monthly on a credit card or whatever. So when I do the libraries, I just print an invoice and pay it all at once for the whole year, and they give you a discount for doing that.
sounds good.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So I guess I could make the motion that we propose we spend $500 a year for 1 year. We don't have to do it. If it doesn't work out and people aren't subscribing, we could reconsider next year. But I make a motion that we spend $500 to create a constant contact account for the commission to begin communicating with members of the community and an email newsletter.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. Any other discussion? None. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
So those were the voting items on the agenda. I did a little bit about the Crimfield comments. We do need to talk about what the Crimfield comments will be for the fall. I know we talked about a veterans theme, which I think would be great because then we'd have a November deadline date. So I guess if we can all think about that for the next meeting and talk about how we're going to coordinate getting the content done for November.
Okay.
And all the other things I think were things that there was the collection policy. The one other thing that Bob Donahue asked us to discuss was a bit about finding out from the town what the plan is for the Domino's property once how will it affect the building that the commission, the historical museum building, like what does the plan look like for once they widen the road there? Is there going to be grass space? What's going to be? So I think we can just reach out to Dennis and find out what the plan is, so we have a better idea of what the museum frontage will look like once the plan, and I think from what I know now, I think that's delayed till next summer. Is that right, Rick?
I haven't heard.
Okay,
It's not pending because they're using the building, putting stuff
Right.
in it. for
There's stuff in
storage.
the building, so I don't think it's happening. I think I heard the earliest would be the spring before anything happens there. So
Yeah,
it's going to
probably
be a
be.
while. But it should impact, I mean, if that building is gone, we should have a better view from the street no matter what it is. So we talked about putting the sign out on that side
Yeah,
of the
I was
building.
gonna say, getting that sign redone, we can address that when
Once we know what it looks like. And
Yeah.
we also talked about having like an open flag that we could put out on, once we decide on hours, so people know that someone's in the building and they can, so I think there's a lot of good opportunities there.
Yeah.
And the rest of it was a policy update. That was the only other thing that Bob asked me to bring up at the meeting. And then the policies, the collection policy, we can talk about that next time, as well as the mission statement. I think that can wait. We have the draft of the mission statement. We can vote on that when we have a
September meeting.
September meeting.
Yeah.
And does the 5 o'clock on Mondays work for you guys?
It does.
For me,
Okay.
Works for me.
So do we want to do, I don't have my, so, I mean, technically we were doing the first Monday, were we doing the first Monday or the second Monday before? The second.
The
Monday.
second.
The second. So that would be,
We're looking at the 14th of September.
okay, let me just see what, let me just make sure I don't have something on the library Zoom at that time. Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see this. Oh, I can't see the schedule. Let me just look at the library schedule. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we don't have much at that time. We might have something at 7 that, September 14th.
Yep, September.
So we have a 6:30 library program, so we need to be done by 6:30. So that shouldn't be a problem. That's an hour and a
Yeah, it's an hour and a half.
That's an hour and a half. So that should be fine. So the next meeting will be on the 14th at 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I pay for?
Well, so there's 2 ways to do it. One, if you can get an invoice from them or a contract or whatever, I can have a check cut and they can do it. Or the other way is to put it on a credit card and get reimbursed. Those are the two things we can do. But if you can get an invoice from them, I can get it to the town hall and get a check cut to give to them when they do it. Okay. So those are the options at this point.
Well, you should have his estimate now.
Right, but we can't pay a bill off an estimate. I
Sure.
don't think. Would have to have some kind of a contract that they agree to do the work, and then we cut the check, and then you give them the check when the work is done. We can't pay for things in advance. That's kind of a,
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. So if you need any help with that, just let me know. If it comes down to what has to happen, I'll see what I can do to do it. But it's very common. A lot of things I do that are these kind of things is if it's small, I put it on my credit card. We can submit the bill as soon as it's received. The town cuts checks every week, so you get reimbursed pretty quickly if you decide to go that way.
Before we part ways too, I just want to mention that the email that I sent out to everybody a few minutes ago has a version of the mission statement. I included some of what Frank provided before. I wouldn't want to have a vote on it now until Frank was here.
Right.
But next time Frank is here and we have a quorum, we might want to hash that out. And if somebody had some feedback, between now and then, it would be good because I'd like to check that box and close that out.
Great.
Okay.
Okay. Great.
We got everything?
Yeah.
For this.
I make a motion, we adjourn at 5:31 PM.
Motion has been made to adjourn.
I'll
All
second.
those in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Oh, yeah, seconded by Steve. All those in favor?
aye.
All righty, we've
Have a good one.
adjourned.
Great, thank you. Have a good
Bye.
one.
Thank you.
Okay,
Good night.
Bye-bye.
thank you, everybody.
Yep.